Okay, one more in this series of global world leaders, spiritual leaders that I've worked with or studied with or had access to. The last one I want to talk about today is Daisaku Ikeda, Ikeda. You can look him up. He was the third and founding president of the Soka Gakkai International, or SGI. It is the brand, if you will, of Buddhism that I practice. And I had the great fortune in my history, and I've been practicing, it'll be 50 years next year that I've been practicing this particular form of Buddhism. He's a Japanese man. He passed away a number of years ago, unfortunately, in his 90s. And the question comes up about these world leaders. Are they so enlightened that they don't get angry? And I know I've talked about the Dalai Lama and my sister's experience with the Dalai Lama, and I've seen recordings and videos of wonderful dialogues with the Dalai Lama and Arnold Toynbee and Desmond Tutu and things like that. And President Ikeda himself had many dialogues with Arnold Toynbee and other world leaders over the years. I won't go into that. But I recall President Ikeda could be very strict, and this idea that somehow if you're a world leader, a spiritual leader, that you never get angry, you never get frustrated. And I have had occasion to watch him get extremely strict with his guidance with many of us at the time. And I have told this story before, but I was a youth. I was probably 24 or 5, something like that. And I had a great audience with myself and a number of other young men in Malibu. Someone asked the question, Sensei, why is it I chant so hard and I try so hard and I don't seem to be making any progress? Why is it the more that I struggle, the more that I try, that the obstacles just keep getting bigger and grander? And he paused and he laughed and he said, quite simply, that's how you know you're making progress. Of course, to a bunch of young men, that just didn't make any sense at all. And he said, let me explain. He said, there are laws of the universe, and one of them certainly is the law of inertia, and then there's also the third law of thermodynamics. And he was a very well-read individual, and he said that the resistance you face, he said, think about it. Anytime you take an object that has been stationary or sedentary and you start moving forward, any object, just by the laws of physics, is going to encounter resistance. And he said, in terms of our life condition, in terms of the movement we have on our path, the movement toward our goals, the more movement toward anything that we want, it is a natural law of the universe that we are going to encounter obstacles. And so he said, to conclude, which I just have held to this day, that how you know you're making progress is by virtue of the obstacles you experience. So hope that helps.